my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your young men shall dream dreams, and on my servants and on my handmaidens I will pour out in those days of my spirit, and they shall prophesy. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. This is what I need you to know, that I'm pouring out my spirit upon everybody. My spirit should rest upon you. You have the spirit of the living God upon you. It is within you. It is upon you. We got that? All right, go to Numbers chapter 11. We're going to see it again. This is apostolic speed. Numbers chapter 11, verse 24. Remember all of these words. This is what the Lord wants us to do. He wants us to know a few things. We need to realize this, that his spirit should rest upon us. In Numbers chapter 11, verse 24, it says, and Moses went out and told the people the words of the Lord, and gathered the 70 men of the elders of the people, and set them round about the tabernacle. And the Lord came down in the cloud, and spake unto them, and took up the spirit that was upon him, and gave it to the 70 elders. And it came to pass that when the spirit rested upon them, they prophesied and did not cease. Old Testament, New Testament, it does not matter. When the spirit of the Lord rests upon you, you will prophesy. Amen. It's a beauty. It's a good thing. And the Lord, here's the thing. The Lord is giving us the power to be able to create in the earth as he is the creator of all. We are made in his image and in his likeness. And he's given us the power to create as he creates, which is why he gives us the power to prophesy, which is why he wants his spirit to rest upon us so that we can go and create what we need in the earth. This is how we advance his kingdom. We know that his spirit is upon us, and we begin to speak life into dead places. We begin to speak life into places where there is none. We begin to create as he creates. No, you will be a man who is after God's own heart. You will get good grades this semester. I'm believing it in Jesus' name. My children will do well in Jesus' name. They're going to pass in Jesus' name. You're going to graduate in Jesus' name. We have to begin to speak God's word. This is why he gave us his spirit, so that we can prophesy, so that we can begin to do and to stand as he is in the earth. The Bible says, as he is, so are we in the earth. So are we. His spirit rests upon us. Do you see that? So, God's spirit rests upon us. And even, keep going. In verse 26 it says, actually I want to say that. I want to keep on down. In verse 29. So I'll just sum up the next three verses. There's two guys who weren't exactly in the same places as them, but the Spirit of God rested on them too. And they began to prophesy outside the camp because they were so excited because the Spirit of God was on them. And they were like, wait a minute. You weren't part of the chosen ones. You weren't in the tent with us when we got the Spirit. How come you doing this? Tell us not to do it. And Moses was like, why are you trying, why are you mad about what I'm doing? Don't worry about that. It's good. As a matter of fact, in verse 29 he says, if these thou for my sake would God that all the Lord's people were prophets, and that the Lord would put his spirit upon them. He wished that everybody could do it. Say, don't worry about if they out there. Let them do it. If they're doing it in the name of the Lord, let them do it. Because the Lord is upon us. He wants us all to prophesy. He wants us all to walk in the power of his anointing that he died for. Is that not true? All right, so let's go back to number 2. God desires, so we know the first thing, that God desires his spirit to always be upon us. We don't have a part-time anointing. Something we can do all the time. We can prophesy all the time. We can walk in our authority all the time. Yes? And then the second thing he wants us to know is that he desires that his angels always be with us. This is how we can walk in the miraculous. Like, we have the spirit upon us to prophesy, and then we have angelic help. Say, I have angelic help. Go to Acts chapter 7. Acts chapter 7 is only straight. It says, and when 40 years were expired, There appeared to him in the wilderness of Mount Sinai an angel of the Lord in a flame of fire in a bush. When Moses saw it, he wondered at the sight. And as he drew near to behold it, the voice of the Lord came unto him, saying, I am the God of thy fathers, the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Then Moses trembled and durst not behold. Oh my God, this is what he did. Then said the Lord to him, put off thy shoes from thy feet, for the place where thou standest is holy ground. Verse 34. I have seen the affliction of my people, which is in Egypt, and I have heard their groaning, and am come down to deliver them. And now come, I will send thee into Egypt. This Moses, whom they refused, saying, who made thee a ruler and a judge? The same did God send to be a ruler and a deliverer by the hand of the angel which appeared to him in the bush. He brought them out. After that, he had showed wonders and signs in the land of Egypt and in the Red Sea and in the wilderness 40 years. The Lord called him to be a deliverer, but he called him to be a deliverer by the hand of the angel which appeared to him. Right. So then you had angelic help, and all the works that Moses did, he did with the help of the angel that was assigned to him. He understood that he had angelic help, so when he went about and said, let my people go, he knew he had reinforcements. Right. He knew that he had some big dogs right behind him like, I said, let my people go. And he knew he had some, you know. So when Pharaoh challenged him, obviously, he was like, you know, the angels started doing their work in the scenes. All those things that were happening when he was being challenged by Pharaoh, that was his angelic help. Yes. Thing is, he understood that he had help. How often do we go into places and we're challenged by the powers that be? We're challenged by the enemies and we don't use our help. Amen. We're standing there by ourselves like, what? Afraid to fight, you know, putting up our little hands thinking that we can do something when we have some real help. The Lord wants you to know that you have help. You have angelic help. You have the kind of help that can move mountains for you. You don't have to do anything but know that it's there, and because they hearken to the voice of the word. You speak the word and they got to do something. They got to do it. This is how, just think about how great an accomplishment that was. Moses divided the Red Sea. Yes. Led the people over into it. How did he do that? He had angelic help. Hello. He put the staff down, go to work. And the angel was like, just went ahead and made it happen. I need you to see this. You have angelic help. The Bible says he was a deliverer by the hand of the angel. Do you see that? Yeah. And he brought them out after he had showed wonders and signs. So those miraculous things were taking place because Moses believed the word God said, and he understood that he had help. Yes, yes. You have help today. Yes. Do you believe it? Yes. Do you believe you have help? Yes. Go to Hebrews chapter 1. We have help. Go to Hebrews chapter 1. Verse 7 says, and of the angels, he says, who maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire. Didn't Moses see that flame of fire in the bush? Mm-hmm. That was his angelic help. The Lord was letting him know, this is your help. I'm giving you help. Verse 14, are they not all ministering spirits sent forth to minister for them who shall be heirs of salvation? They are there for you. The angels are ministering spirits sent forth to minister for them who shall be heirs of salvation. Are we not heirs of salvation? Yes. We inherit salvation. And their whole job is to minister for you, to serve you. That is why they're there. Mm-hmm. Don't deny the help. You know, we got some prideful people in the world. Like, I don't want no help. And then if I tell you, then you're going to have to help me. And the Lord literally has assigned you help your whole life. But if we don't do like that, I mean, your angels got atrophy in their muscles. You've been doing all the heavy lifting. You wonder why you tired of broke down knees is about to give out because you've been trying to do this on your own. And your angels back there like, I'm here. All you got to do is say the word. Psalm 103:20. Write it down. Psalm 103:20. They hearken to the voice of the word. They hearken. I mean, they say, here I am. I'm ready to go. They hearken to the voice of the word. You speak the word and the angel must act. This is how it happens. I need you to see this realistically. You know, sometimes we hear about things in the church and we hear about things and we're like, oh, that sounds nice and supernatural. It seems so unattainable. It seems like it's, you know, it's fairy tale-ish. But in fact, you have real, legitimate help. You know, I don't like to say this word, but it's kind of like, you know how people have dogs and they be like, you ever seen Coming to America? And he was like, get him, Dottie. And Dottie went charging. That's the whole thing. I got angelic help. Get him, Gabriel. They were trying to mess with me. Go get him, Gabriel. You know, I don't know what my angel's name is, but I know it's something like Brutus. Go ahead, Brutus. Get him. I got help. Amen. And you have help. And the Lord wants you to utilize that help. The way that you utilize that help is by speaking the word. Yes. Psalm 103:20 says, they hearken to the voice of the word. You must speak the word in order for them to hearken unto it. Right. If you never say anything, they have nothing to respond to. If you want them to respond to you to work on your behalf, you must speak it. Amen. So I must speak the word. I have to speak the word. If I want to utilize my angelic help. So we have angelic help, do we not? Yes. So God desires that his angels always be with us. He wants them to be at our side. He wants them to be there to work on our behalf because he wants us to walk in the miraculous at all times. Amen. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Amen. Like if we really walked in the miraculous at all times. It is not impossible. It will cause you to have to change. It will cause you to have to change your mind. Be transformed by renewing your mind to understand that you have this help. To understand that his spirit is on you. So you have the power of God resting upon you so that you can speak the word with power so that your angelic help can come in. And guess what? When you do that, you're living a supernatural lifestyle. I get it. I have his spirit upon me. I'm made in his image and likeness. His spirit rests upon me. I can prophesy because when I'm prophesying, I'm speaking the word. And when I'm speaking the word, I'm creating. I'm speaking the word and the angels are doing what? Hearkening to it. Now they're performing it. That's how it works. We got it? Okay. So, everybody got a good recap? We good? Okay, now, let's get on. I'm ready. Everybody ready? We got our foundation together? All right, go to Acts chapter 3. This is where I want to go. So now that we know this, now that we understand who we are, that we can live a supernatural lifestyle, that his spirit rests upon us, that we have angelic help, that we are his people, we are his workmanship in Christ Jesus. This is who we are. The question we need to ask ourselves is, what needs to happen to ensure that we actually live this out? Is that a good question? Yes? It's one thing to know something. It's a whole other thing to actually do something. I mean, I know what it takes to actually lose weight. You gotta eat healthy, exercise. 1 + 1 = 2. But if I don't do those things, it's not gonna happen. I can know it all day. But the question is, what's gonna take me from knowing about that to actually doing that? That's what I want to get us to today. I want us to not just know about who we are, but I want us to be about who we are. Okay? All right. Are we in Acts chapter 3? Okay. All right. Now, here it is. Peter and John, verse 1, went up together to the temple at the hour of prayer, being the ninth hour. And a certain man, lame from his mother's womb, was carried, whom they laid daily at the gate of the temple, which is called Beautiful, to ask alms of them that entered into the temple, who, seeing Peter and John about to go into the temple, asked an alms. And Peter, fastening his eyes upon him with John, said, Look on us. And he gave heed unto them, expecting to receive something of them. Now usually, we teach this, when we go into this passage, we put a lot of emphasis on how the man, who was lame from his mother's womb, how, it says he gave heed to them, expecting to receive something of them. And so we talk about, this is what we have to do. We have to expect to receive something, which we should, 100%. But I want us to look at something else when we look at this. We're going to look, remember we said fresh eyes and fresh ears. So I want you to look at this again. So, first of all, when they go to this temple at the hour of prayer, they're going, there is a way, a time in which the people during this time, they would go pray. They would go pray every so many hours. 6 times a day they would pray. That was like the habit. The 9th hour, the 12th hour, the so on and so forth until they prayed all day. They had a habit of prayer. So the man who was lame, they brought him daily to this gate so that he can ask alms. He needed money in order to be able to live because he couldn't work. So he went to that place every day at the right time to make sure that he could ask of alms so people could give him what he needed. And so Peter and John was about to go into the temple, and of course, they were approached. Spirit change. Spirit change, my brother. And so, look at what happened. So, in verse 4 it says, And Peter, fastening his eyes upon him with John, said, Look on us. I want us to look at what Peter did. I don't want to focus necessarily on the person in need. I want us to see what the giver did. So Peter said, Peter, fastening his eyes upon him. Peter became focused. Peter looked at him and said, Look on me. He didn't look away. He was fastened upon what he needed to do. He saw his need and he was not distracted. So we all in this word church, we get this word and we want to, we want to help people. We want to make sure that we can bring people healing and deliverance. And we don't realize there is a type of formula. Peter fastened his eyes on him. He did not let go. He did not look at anything else. He saw what was happening and then he began to focus his attention on it and not be distracted by anything else. Everybody else is coming into the temple. Everybody else is coming up there for the hour of prayer, and none of that mattered to Peter. What mattered to Peter was that he saw somebody in need and he said, Look here, I got to figure out how I can get it to him no matter what. I have to figure out how I can adequately help him. Me giving him an alms is not going to change his situation. What he needs is something more. So he stayed his eyes steadfastly upon him and then commanded him to look back at him. So the man who was lame, now it is his job to actually respond to the man of God. So Peter looked at him intently and he said, Look on him. And as soon as he said, Look on him, he gave heed to him. He said, okay. What he did was he gave his agreement for healing. He gave his agreement for him to do something for him. And what I need us to know, what I need us to see, is that your proper positioning depends on you understanding who you are. See, we just talked about how we have his spirit upon us. We just talked about how his angels is with us. We just talked about how what it means to live a supernatural lifestyle. And what this looks like is, I now know who I am. So when I see see somebody in need, I'm now going to focus my attention on them. I'm not going to let it go. I'm not going to look to the left or to the right. I'm going to look dead ahead. I'm going to say, hey, listen, I have something. Do you want it? Look at me. Yes? See, no longer are we in a position now where we're like, we're the lame. Because usually we look at this from the perspective of the lame. And it's all about, oh, I was lame. And, oh, no, I got the angel of the Lord with me. I have the Spirit of God upon me. I now must release it. I now must focus on somebody who needs it. And now I'm going to get my attention, folks, fastened upon him. He fastened his eyes upon him. He did not get deterred by everything else around him. We are changing the dynamic. We're not going to focus on the lame. We're going to focus on the power of God to heal. The focus should be on God's power and the help that you got. So as soon as he realized he got him, he was locked in, I got you. Yes. Now, all he has to do is say, now I got some angelic help. So in that moment, all he has to do, his angels can go, he says, look on me. And he says, silver and gold have I none, but such as I have, I give you. And in the moment that he began to speak, that all the angels had to do was begin to touch his ankles. Click, click. Get up and walk. Rise up and walk. It's literally understanding what you got. You have to understand who's with you. And you have to walk with power and authority and boldness to know that that is real. That is with you. So he fastened his eyes upon him. Look at me. And then he talked back. I'm ready. Now he didn't know what he was about to do. But what he received was the very thing he needed in his life. Not what he asked for, but what he needed. Do you see that? Yes. That is proper positioning. Proper positioning is knowing who you are, knowing what you have, and then walking boldly in it. Let me show it to you again. Go to Acts chapter 14. Acts 14. Acts 14. This is talking about Paul and Barnabas. It says, long time in verse 3. Long time therefore abode they, speaking boldly in the Lord, which gave testimony unto the word of his grace, and granted signs and wonders to be done by their hands. So Paul and Barnabas is in this place, and they're in Iconium, and they're doing signs and wonders. They're going around making it happen, helping people out every chance they get. They knew who they were. They knew that they had the power of God upon them. They knew that they had angelic help. They understood that they were to walk in the supernatural, that they are to live a supernatural lifestyle. And if you go down to verse 8, it says, there sat a certain man at Lystra, impotent in his feet, being a cripple from his mother's womb, who never had walked. Sound familiar? The same heard Paul speak, who steadfastly beholding him, and perceiving that he had faith to be healed. Who we talking about here? Paul. Paul looked steadfastly upon him. Paul fastened his eyes upon him. Do you see this? Do we not see a pattern here? Paul fastened his eyes upon him, and perceiving that he had faith to be healed. This is where we come. We are to understand that we have the Spirit of God upon us, that we have some help, so that when it's time to go and find somebody, steadfastly behold them, look on them, and perceive whatever you need to. And if they have faith to be healed, then we can keep the party going. He said with a loud voice, stand upright on thy feet. Get up. And he leaped and walked. It's a real thing. I want you to see this. And I want you to get out of your head that it's about anything other than your proper positioning. You must know who you are? Do you know who you are? Her sister Tyson say that. Do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? Do you know what you have on the inside of you? Do you know what you have behind you? So that when you can look steadfastly on them, gaze upon them, do not go to the left and the right, stay right there until they see you. And then when they see you, you can perceive what they need. I'm ready. Are you ready? See, proper positioning is about understanding who you are. Understanding what you have. We need to transition from always being the lame. We need to transition from only seeing these scriptures from the viewpoint of the lame. So we always look at this like, the reason why he was here because, he looked and expected. Yes, that is true. But the paradigm shift is that we need to now look at, we can be like Paul. We can now look at it like we need to be like Barnabas. We can now look at it like this is what we have been called to do. We are the ones that's supposed to look steadfastly upon them. See what they need to, and then perceiving they have the faith to be healed, release them. Release your angelic help. Do it. This is the paradigm shift. The proper positioning is understanding who you are. So often we walk and we talk with an impotence. We deny the power that we have. And we allow our issues and our stuff to get in the way of that. Don't forget, these brothers had issues. Paul talked about that thorn in his flesh all the time. Like, that enemy of Satan that came to buffet me. He was always with me. And he had this problem all the time. It never stopped him from releasing the power of God. We let our little bitty stuff, I got this problem. Who am I to do that? Who am I, I don't know. I can't. That's for them. The Lord is saying, give me a break. Am I not bigger than that? Come on. Our God is stronger. He's greater. And greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. You have this. The paradigm shift needs to take place that we have been called to go forth and steadfastly behold someone. Get them focused. Get them to see the glory of God in their life and release it upon them. This is what we've been called to do. We have to have a steadfast expectation that the Lord is with us. That he alone is what we need. And all that we have is in him. Go to Psalm 62. Is everybody with me? These men were healed, delivered, and set free because somebody saw the need and was not too selfish to do something about it. I'm going to let that sit. If we know this, if we know that his spirit rests upon us, if we know that we have angelic help, what prevents us from actually going forth and living that out? And I submit to you that the reason why we don't is because we always see ourselves from the perspective of the lame and never see ourselves from the perspective of the healer. But the Lord has called you to be the healer. He's called you to go forth and do what he has put on the inside of you. You have to change your perspective. You have to understand this is how you begin to believe it. Like I have to be transformed by renewing my mind to know that that's me. That Paul, that's me. I'm not the lame man. Because we usually like, if I just, if we just keep our hands lifted up and expecting the Lord, because we're so selfish, all we're thinking about is us and what we lack, what we don't have. We forget that it ain't about you. Right. It's not about it. And when we get our minds transformed to understand who we are and what we have, what we will begin to do is release the power of God in the lives of others. And in so doing, we will be delivered. And in so doing, we will be saved. And in so doing, the power of God will increase in our lives. Let me show you. Let's go to Psalm chapter 62. Are we there?
Amen.
It says, truly, my soul waiteth upon God. From him cometh my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be greatly moved. How long will you imagine mischief against a man? You shall be slain, all of you, as a bowing wall shall you be, and as a tottering fence. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. My soul, wait thou only upon God, for my expectation is from him. See, when we have the expectation that all we need is God, that truly he is our only source, and truly he is all that we need, we'll no longer look at ourselves as the lame. We'll no longer look at ourselves as the ones who is constantly in need, but we'll know that we only need him. He's the only one that our steadfast expectation is only that we need him, and that we have him, and that if I have him, I can go forth with him. I can do things. He says, how long will you imagine mischief? He's talking to all of the different things that's happening all around him. There are all kinds of messes happening. There are these tottering fences, and these people are out here doing all manner of evil, but my only hope is in God. My only expectation is from him. I only need to look to him for all that I need. This is my position. This is my expectation, that if truly, if I wait on him, he's going to do a great thing through me. He's going to make sure that lives are changed, that the world is turned around, because I trust only in him. I wait only for him. My soul, wait thou only upon God. For my expectation is from him. I expect to do miracles. I expect to do signs and wonders, because I only wait on him. He is my only hope. He is my only help. This is all I need. He's given me all that I need. All that I need. And when the Lord does this, when we have this mindset that only the Lord can do what needs to be done. And he's giving this to me. He's giving us the position to be able to do this. Then this is where the Lord does miraculous things. Look at verse 11. It says, God has spoken once. Twice have I heard this, that power belongs to God. Now I want you to see something. I want you to see something very, very, very awesome. God has spoken once. Twice have I heard this. Now, if God has spoken once, and twice have I heard this, that power belongs to God. He spoke it once, but I heard it twice. Now, I want you to see this. When I wait on the Lord, when I trust only in him, when I know who he is, he's going to speak a word. And when he speaks the word, guess what? The angels of the Lord, they hearken to his voice. And then they too got to speak the same word. See, this is how I hear it twice. He's going to speak a word, and then my angelic help is going to repeat what he just said. Did you just hear that? Power belongs to God. We got this. No matter what is going on, God is going to speak a word. I'm going to hear it 2 times. I have help. My help is in the Lord. As a matter of fact, because when he speaks it, I get the double. When we get it, when we truly understand who we are, we know that we got the double. He says, it's like Isaiah 61, for your shame, you shall receive the double. And so no matter what it is that's happening around me, I know who I am. I know that it's Spirit is upon me. And when he speaks the word, I get the double. I'm confident in this. I can walk boldly in this. Twice have I heard it. Twice do I get this. That power belongs to God. And if power belongs to God and God is in me, then I got the power to move mountains. I got the power to tell your ankles to get up and walk. There is a power that lies on the inside of us that's with God. He spoke it once, I heard it twice. Yes. The Lord speaks once. That's all you got to say. But you can hear it twice. You get the double when you know who you are. When your hope is in the Lord. Truly, my only hope is in the Lord. I'm not lame and impotent sitting around waiting on someone else. My hope is in the Lord, so I will walk steadfastly in that. I will walk boldly in that. Knowing that his Spirit rests upon me, knowing and understanding, believing that his angels are encamped round about me to deliver me, to help me complete the task. As a matter, go to Isaiah chapter 30. I want to show you one more thing. Are you in Isaiah 30? In Isaiah 30, verse 20, it says, "And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore. But thine eyes shall see thy teachers, and thine ears shall hear a word behind thee saying, This is the way, walk ye in it, when you turn to the right hand and when you turn to the left." Though no matter what is going on around you, though you're eating the bread of affliction and the water of adversity, it does not matter. Your teachers will not be hidden. You have angelic help. Not only will your teachers not be hidden, they won't be removed into a corner, but you will hear a word behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." No matter where you go, if you understand who you are, no matter what is going on around you, you can hear a word behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." Whether you go to the right hand or to the left, the Lord is with you. He's going to speak once, and then you'll hear a word behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." You're going to hear it twice. Whether you go to the left or to the right, the Lord is with you. And then you can begin to go forth knowing that the Lord is with you. I have angelic help. I now begin to do what he's called me to do confidently, because my teachers are not hidden. I can see my teachers. I see my angelic help. I see them now. Because of my hope and my trust is only in the Lord. Him only do I trust. Him only do I wait for. Because he is the Lord my God. Stand up, so let's pray.